Hello, welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. We're back with issue 44 of the Hachette Partworks release of Titanic, the ship, the legend. So, what's in issue 44? The last of its kind, Scotia. Obviously Jules Verne wrote about it in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Yeah, it was the last one that was fitted with the side paddles, the last paddle steamer. Yeah, and a wee side note there saying that people preferred the paddles to the newer style propellers because they could actually see how it was moving. Ah yes, Will Murdoch, the first officer of Titanic. Of course, if your only knowledge of Titanic is brought to you by James Cameron's 1997 movie. Oh, they got into trouble for that because if you remember, they portrayed Will Murdoch as shooting himself after accidentally shooting the wee Irish guy. Now, that didn't happen. In history, in fact, Will Murdoch was last seen lashing deck chairs together to make makeshift floats for the passengers. So, yeah, the family were understandably very, very upset. Yeah, I don't know the exact outcome, but I remember reading at the time that, yeah, they were not happy about that. But again, that was on Olympic, which some people say is the ship that sank. Yeah, that's them telling you about Will Murdoch's career, how he rose to be the first officer. And there's the publicity poster for Olympic. Now you can see there, the windows are all the same all the way along. Now some of the feedback was that spray was coming off the ocean into the front of the promenade deck there. And as a result, that's why Titanic has the slightly smaller windows on the front. And there is the memorial to Will Murdoch, which is at the town hall of Dalbeattie, which is his hometown. And that moves us on to the instructions. Again, as I said, there ain't all that much to do in this one, but it's the central section of the boat deck. So we shall see. I don't think there's all that much in the box, but let's have a look anyway. Okay, so yet again, quite a big box this time, and lots more horrible brown envelopes. So we have some flanged GP screws, and we have 3 AP screws. Let's have a look at the tiny little envelope first. I maintain I do not like these at all. That's part of the reason why. Oh, we have little metal brackets. At least I got these. I don't know if any of you watch Build with the Boys with Scott. Unfortunately, when his issue came, it didn't come with these parts. These are just supports to join the two sections of decking together. We have 2 very, very large pieces of deck. I look forward to trying to get them to stay down. Don't think I've got enough clamps. Okay, that's empty. And then, of course, I can never get it out of the envelope. A horrible brown envelope. We have the deck piece itself. Lovely. All complete with some really, really horrible, horrible looking stairs. I'm not going to bother cutting them off and trying to put proper ones on. They'll just have to do. But note that I'm not happy with them. So, that is the parts all out. So let's see what we're doing first and foremost. Okie dokie, the first thing we're doing is we're getting the deck pieces over. So now just to test fit these, that one goes here, and that one goes here. It's one of the things I do like about this model, particularly in comparison to Bismarck. With Bismarck, the deck pieces were plastic and they were the wrong colour. Whereas these are very, very good. I'm not so fond of that there, how there's no deck piece going in there, but we'll just have to deal with it. Okay, so as always, I'm going to get my PVA glue. Yep, remember, get the PVA glue, not the super glue. And just a very thin coating where the deck is going to sit, because I say the last thing I want is, because the room where my models are stored is also the room where my reptiles live, and as such it's quite warm, so the last thing I want is for the decking to warp and pop up, and it's no. So let's just make sure got plenty to stick it down. As you'll have seen in previous issues, even with all this preparation, sometimes you still get a bit of lift in certain places. It's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. It's the problem with self-adhesive backings. They're not great. So that's the first side. So let us peel the backing off. Again, I find it quite, particularly the more spindly bits, I find it quite nerve-wracking because they are just individual planks stuck together, and yeah, it can result in them just deciding to come apart. So again, make sure all the holes line up as well as possible, because some of them will be slightly off, because again, it's laser cut and it's wood. So it's impossible to get them all 100%, but there we go. So that's that side down. I'm now going to clamp it while I work on the other side. Again, these aren't the greatest clamps in the world, but they do their job. I believe I got them out of the range. Yes, I did, actually. I remember buying them. Specifically for Titanic's decking, I might add. Let me see. I do have another 2 somewhere, I'm sure. Just give me a moment while I rake through my drawers. Yes, I do indeed. I have another 3, actually. I don't know how I've ended up with 7, but apparently I have 7. I would have thought it would be an even number, but okay. Oh no, I do. I have another one sitting here. Ignore me. Okay. So again, what I did was I poured this glue out earlier, so it had the opportunity to start to get a bit tacky. So I'm not putting it on fresh, wet glue, otherwise it'll take forever to dry. And I won't be able to do the next stage. Now I'm hoping that even with the clamps on, I should still be able to do the next part. I think I've just about got enough glue. Yep, there we go. Make sure it's all the way to the edges, because the edges are the bits that are going to invariably start to try and peel up, and round the back of the stairways as well, because that's where it's thinnest. Okie dokie. So again, peel the backing paper off. And you can see there where the planks were starting to separate. So if I'd pulled that off from the other side, they would all have been everywhere. That's the bit that's annoying me with these. Now, don't get me wrong, as I say, a million times better than Bismarck in terms of the deck effect. But oh, that's annoying when that happens. But it shouldn't be an issue now, because they all went on together. They're now all clamped down. Not only the self-adhesive on the back of them, but also with the PVA glue. course, my clamps, which are going on. Really done another one for this side, to be honest, but okay. So now that bit's been suitably clamped, I'm going to move them more to the extremities, just because, as I say, they're the bits that are going to peel up. Okie dokie. Again, the issue is I need to leave them clamped on for a little while, and that may make the next bit slightly more tricky, as what we're doing is turning the deck over. We're going to be attaching it to the existing piece with these two bits here. So I'll bring the existing piece over. Again, wrong side, wrong way round. I'm looking going, well, that doesn't look right. There's a very good reason for that. It wasn't right. I was facing it the wrong way. So it's these two kind of hook parts will fit into these two sockets. Let's see how well they fit. They do fit very well, and actually these clamps have made it easier because it means that they're now lining up because of the way the bridge is sitting. So what we're doing now is two of the AP screws. Again, Hachette have been very kind and provided us with a spare. And where did my screwdriver go? Again, just support it from above. Now, again, it is plastic we're screwing into, so you don't need a tremendous amount of torque when you get them in. Just make sure they're tight enough that they're going to hold. Because again, this is the top layer, so it's going to be sat on top anyway. So it's going to be supported all the way around. You just need to make sure it's tight enough that you're not going to get any wobble. Now the next thing is to attach these. I don't know how tight a fit this is going to be. Tight enough, maybe. I don't think they're going to fall off anyway. But I tell you what, I'm going to put some glue on the other side, because I think that one will stay. But if not, I can always come back to it. But I'm going to put some super glue just on the other side. Just for my own peace of mind more than anything else. And because I went to all the trouble of getting glue out. So if I've got glue out, I'm going to use it. And then this piece fits over here. Just like that. I'm going to actually see if I can pull that one off. No. Nope, doesn't come off. Doesn't want to come off. Try with the tweezers, because I would really like to put a bit of glue underneath it. Just, as I say, for my own peace of mind, if nothing else. But no, it's not coming off, so therefore I'm going to assume it's not going to come off. I do believe that is it for this issue. Oh no, no, there's one more thing I need to do, and for that I need a different piece, so give me 2 moments. Boom. As if by magic. Now all we're doing here is taking two of the flanged GP screws. We're going to be turning these bits onto their side, and we're going to be screwing these 2 screw holes that you can see just in the middle here. So I'm going to be doing it from this side, so you're not going to be able to see very much, I don't think. But yeah, it hooks in. In fact, I'll set it so you can see it. It's these 2 holes just here. And because of where the funnels are, it's a very strange weight distribution. But again, all you're doing, as I say, plastic into plastic. No need to be overly harsh, or you're going to end up wishing you hadn't. But there we go, there's the first one in. And the second one going in like that. Now I don't know why we didn't do this ages ago, because to be honest, I've been sitting with them stuck together on the deck for a little while now. But that's them fixed together, exactly as they were sitting. I'll pop the dome for the grand staircase back in. Oh, and don't you worry, we'll be talking about the grand staircase all too soon. Maybe not too soon, but you know, soon anyway. There we go. And there we go. Very nice. That looks just great. So if you give me just one moment, I'll be back again momentarily. That's what we're looking at now. Doesn't that just look magnificent? Obviously it's just mocked up, that's not attached. But yeah, how good does that look? I'm so impressed. But that's us for issue 44. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. So that's issue 44 complete. What's coming in issue 45? 2 of the boats, some of the davits, and the decking that goes on one of the sides of the forward boat deck. So again, we're taking away more of that white plastic, adding the decking pieces. It really is growing quite nicely. I'm very, very impressed. As I say, by the time you reach issue 52, you've got the full boat deck. And if I say this is 2/3 of it, I'll wheel back so you can see that is 2/3 of the boat deck. So another third to go in the end there. And doesn't that just look absolutely magnificent? Really, really impressed. Really chuffed. I mean, the way the windows and everything accentuate it. Oh, just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Obviously that's not fixed. There are still gaps and everything. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Really, really chuffed with how she's looking. So yeah, join me shortly for issue 45. As always, feedback, comments, criticisms, suggestions, pop them in the box down below. Do leave me a like, because it helps the channel massively to know what I'm doing well, what I'm maybe not doing so well. And drop me a follow or a subscribe, and that will let you know when new videos are coming out. As I say, I'm going to be building this to completion, hopefully. So yeah, thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you for the next one. Peace out, everyone.